Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, December 6th, 2016. Disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed. So we always start our videos off with a look at the Russell Index, and for that we use the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, and we step back to take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. We were paying particular attention to this blue channel. The Russell traded within it through all of 2014, had this little lift up and out in early 15, hit our shaded light blue line, and then sold off. But price strength came back in and it's taken us over our shaded blue line, and the candle for the month of November was a fairly bullish looking candle with increasing volume. So we are up and over that shaded blue line, which will now be support. So I'm going to move it away from the monthly to the 2-year weekly so we can better see how price is behaving. There's our same blue line. We had this trend line drawn in several weeks back when the Russell was showing weakness, saying if it was going to make new highs, it was going to have to get through there, which it did, but it has this gap to fill on the daily chart down here. So we've got that gap filled, or indicated, I should say, but we are up and over this shaded blue line, which will now be support. We want to note that the candle from last week was a bearish candle, bearish engulfing candle, but here we are so far for this week. So we don't want this week to start to complement last week and see price weakness come in. I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the daily so we can see how price is behaving. This was yesterday, so we are up and over the 8-day EMA. As I filmed this on Tuesday morning at about 7:45, the futures are flat to slightly higher. So we will open probably somewhere in this range. So we want to see that price strength continuing. We always look at the Russell because we want to make sure that before we put any new charts forward, we're putting them forward in a rising market environment. And for that, that is price on the Russell up and over this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. And so with price on the Russell continuing to show strength, we are putting a new chart forward this morning, and that chart is STMP, Stamps.com Inc. They are in the internet e-commerce space, and as the name would suggest, they are a provider of internet-based postage solutions. They were incorporated in January 1988, and the range of their products go through the United States Postal Service. You know what, Chart of the Day Cafe? It is all about value first, and this one has an excellent value score, really high. Second thing I look for is growth, and Stamps.com has a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 34%. Third thing I look for, can't always get it, is not a must, is a dividend yield, and Stamps.com does not pay a dividend. For those of you that are PE people, the PE ratio on it is 12.66. The other thing I wanted to point out is that sales growth last year was 79% for this company. That's really nice. So let's get back to the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly. First thing I want you to see is this beautiful uptrend that Stamps.com is in. When you look at the monthly chart, you can see that here is the month of November. The volume is starting to pick up a little bit, and we're at an area of support on the smaller chart. So let's move away from the 5-year monthly to the 2-year weekly so we can better see how price is behaving. This is that same trend line. There's an area of support down here, but should the market continue higher, I see a little wedge pattern forming here on a stock with such great scores. Should the market continue higher, I would not be too surprised to see Stamps.com break out of this little wedge and move higher with the market. Never making any recommendations. I'm just adding names for our watch list, and I do not own Stamps.com, but I love the look of this chart. So let's move it away from the 2-year weekly to the 6-month daily so we can better see how price is behaving. There's that same trend line and this area of more minor support, the wedge that's forming here. You can see how it consolidated before it moved higher and up and over our orange line of support. And it looks as though it wants to start thinking about breaking out here. It does not have a 3 and 8 cross yet. I'm going to put that study on so you can see. At Chart of the Day Cafe, it's all about the pink line, which is the 3 EMA, moving up and over the 8-day EMA, and a nice trend starting. It looks like it is making moves in that direction, but it does not have that 3 and 8 cross yet. I'm going to move it back to our plain study. You know, in preparation for these videos, I always like to put other things in front of you as well. This is from the NASDAQ.com site. You can see that in the past several quarters, Stamps.com has surprised to the upside, and overall consensus recommendation from analysts is more towards the buy side. I also wanted to note that Stamps.com is a Zack's #1 rated strong buy pick, and I will include this article with today's video. Top ranked growth stocks to buy or consider buying for December. And so let's go over and take a look at the sector that it's in, because we always want to check that box as well. So uptrending market, uptrending sector, and uptrending stock. So the sector that Stamps.com is in is an XLK, which is the ETF for the technology sector. Let's take a look at it on the weekly chart. You can see it consolidated for a long time, and then it moved up and over our area of resistance, now support. It's moving sideways, but should the market continue higher, this may go higher as well. But overall price is up and over that 8-day EMA, and the volume looks as though it's starting to pick up a little bit here. So let's move it away from the weekly to the daily. 9-month daily, we had a touch of our area of support here, a touch here. I'm filming this at about 8:30 on Tuesday morning. The futures look to be opening a little bit higher, and this is moving off of that area of support. So should technology move higher, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Stamps.com move with it. So Stamps.com, my Chart of the Day Cafe pick for Tuesday, December 6th. So to summarize, let's go back and check the boxes for STMP. We looked at the Russell, so we know that the market is in an overall uptrend with the IWM price up and over the 8-day EMA. We looked at the sector that it's in, XLK, up and over resistance and showing price strength. STMP is in a long-term uptrend on the 5-year chart and up and over resistance on the 2-year chart. It's got a great value score. It's got a great growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate of 34%. Does not pay a dividend, so we do not have that box checked. It does not have a 3 and 8 cross yet, EMA cross I should say, so that is not checked. It does have analyst support that we saw on the NASDAQ.com site. Seasonality, I could not find a seasonal chart for it, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. But we know that it's a Zack's #1 strong buy, and we're including the Zack's article with today's video, and the overall PE is 12.66.